Alright, welcome back everybody, and as you can see, some changes have been made. So, originally, I got all this done, as in, when I say all this, adding in these wheat farms here, and adding in this crimson fungus shroom tree farm thing, at the very end of me recording the last episode, as in when I came over here after visiting the Nether. I was going to display that then, but well, the episode ended up running a little bit long and I didn't want to have to try and chop it down anymore to try and fit this in. So this is now all added in. This wheat farm is adapted from a design by Tresure Toad, and I will be linking his video and his channel in the description, hopefully, if I remember. And this here with the crimson tree shroom farm thing is entirely my design, that I kind of slapped together based off of our layout here. So I try to do my best to make it fit in here, and so it takes up basically the space of 3 pods essentially, but it works actually pretty decently. The unfortunate thing I did find out is I put it in an area, this area is considered like cold, so if I'm not careful, these water source blocks here that power these streams will freeze, which is why I had to put glowstone in here, but it works decently well, and I'm very happy with that. The one thing though is though I do have some of the warped mushrooms, I don't have any of the warped nylium or whatever this stuff is called, and if I want to add those to my farm over here, I'm going to have to go back into the Nether once again and get some of that stuff. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do next. And yeah, I don't know why I must do this to myself. We should have just done this yesterday, or the day before, I mean, but I didn't. So now we gotta go back into the Nether and hopefully grab some more warped stuff too while we're there. So I'll meet you guys there in just a moment. Alright, so I'm back here in front of my portal, and I think I remember where there is a warped forest, so that is where we're going to head next to get what we need. And so I'm going to take some building blocks with me, though I don't think I'll need too many because I'm pretty sure I already put in a path over there. Yeah, it should be across. That isn't... yeah. So this... he hasn't noticed me yet somehow. I don't know how that is, but okay. We're gonna sneak around here and go across here. And if I remember correctly, there is indeed a warped forest at the end here. So, or not at the end, but sort of some finagly way over that, in that direction. I am also going to grab more glowstone while we're here because I definitely need more of it. I already made a huge dent in my stock when I was adding glowstone to my farm as a lighting source, and I'm definitely going to need more of it. I mean, so far I have not seen any normal piglins yet, though that might change. But generally they stay away from the zombie piglins, I guess because they think they're diseased or something. Do piglins still drop glowstone when bartering? I wonder if that's still something they can drop while bartering, because that might incentivize me to get a gold farm up and running soon if that is the case. What is going... Oh, no thank you, sir. Yeah, you better run. I just murked all your friends. You wanna try me? That's what I thought. Yeah, here we are. I knew it was over in this direction somewhere, so clearly I was thinking right. Gonna grab this glowstone, and we're gonna grab a bunch of this stuff, hopefully. I wanna make sure I have plenty. Oh my goodness, what was that noise? How much do I have? 38. I'm just gonna make sure I get quite a few because I don't want to risk not having a whole lot. Just in case I like lose some or something. I have some ideas like for what we can do with the nether in terms of like eventual mega build type things. I wasn't really sure what to do with it at first, but now I think I have an idea. I just don't know if I'm gonna stick with it. Kinda don't want to spoil it though, just in case I change my mind later on. And also if I still decide to go through with it, I want it to be kind of, well, maybe not exactly a surprise, but yeah, I guess a surprise is the best way to put it. And time to offload all my junk. So I guess we're just gonna continue working on the tree farm. I just want to get this warped one set up, and then after that we'll go and focus on something else for a little while and sort of leave this be for the time being, because I've been working on this for several days now. I'm sure somebody's gonna tell me I should do the farm for these guys specifically, do the auto one where you or it's not really auto, but you use TNT and stuff. But the problem with that is most of those farm designs use TNT tubing, which I just personally I don't want to use because it feels kind of cheaty to me. I know not everybody sees it that way, because if it's been left in the game this long, so therefore you can kind of do however you please with it. But personally, in my opinion, I feel it's like kind of cheaty to basically dupe any resource, especially if it's for your own benefit. Like, it's, I don't mind TNT duping so much if you're doing it to like clear a large area with like those TNT like cannon machines that you kind of, the flying machines where you can kind of just send them over an area to demolish it. I don't mind people using that sort of system where you're using TNT tubing, like that doesn't bother me, but like using it specifically to gather resources I think is cheaty, so that's why I'm not going to be doing that. I also know there's designs that don't require you to use TNT duping, but at the same time it's like I really don't want to be messing around with TNT, and I kind of don't mind this process so much right now. Maybe later on, when if I need a lot of this like warped wood and crimson wood, maybe I'll set up a farm, and one that doesn't use TNT duping, because again, I just don't think it's very fair game wise. But for now, this is like good enough for me. Well, there we go, we got a tall one right off the bat. I think it's so goofy how like they grow so ridiculously. I don't think they grow this naturally this tall in the nether, but they just like grow ridiculously tall in the overworld is like so funny to me. I don't know why. But yeah, there we go. Our warped and crimson fungus farms are both in now. We'll be able to extend this farm backward quite a bit, because all I need to do would be to add in the ice with the pressure plates and just carry it the same pattern backwards, which is what I like about this particular design. It's very modular. I say that it's my design. I came up with this design. The only different thing is these farms here, the wheat farms, but I had to like change it a little bit to get it to fit within the boundaries I had already set. So it's slightly modified, but like everything else is all my design, so I don't know why I'm so proud of it. That just like sounds weird, but whatever, it's fine. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. So I will catch back up with you guys when I have our next activity lined up. Alright, so before we get into the main part of this episode, I just want to show you what I've done with my villager trading hall now. This is probably like the 4th or 5th time I've redesigned it, but I think I'm finally satisfied with where it's at now. Because we're like in the deepest part of my base, I kind of decided subconsciously to lean into the sewer aesthetic, and I think I've finally captured that in a way where I'm happy with it. It took me a long time to figure out the floors. The floors were probably the hardest part to figure out, but I finally got it in a way where I am pretty happy with it, actually. I really like the textures. It adds a little bit of a kind of almost creepy ancient city, possibly some dark magic-y stuff going down in here in the old sewage drains underneath, and so I kind of like it. I'm pretty happy with where it's at now.
Hi, Miss Tuna. You wanna come up?
I think I'm finally happy with it, which means hopefully soon we'll actually be able to get into the big plans I have for this area, because I'm using this sort of as a template for what the rest is going to look like. And so now that I'm happy with where it's at, we can move forward with that now. As for what we're actually focusing on this episode, as I showed you last episode in the beginning, I did this water tunnel that I constructed, and this is probably one of my favorite builds so far. I really like it. It feels good to me when I walk through here. Like this is exactly what I was going for, and so I'm very excited about that. And so we're just gonna continue working on this larger project, because I kind of would like to maybe actually work on getting a project close to finished for once. So I think we're just going to go ahead and continue working on the grander network of this thing. And so I calculated, based off of how I think I want to do this, that this is roughly the center of where the next tunnel is going to be. It's not going to be exactly the same, because as you can see here, this is 4 blocks wide here. It widens out to 6 blocks within that tunnel. And this is obviously a 3 block wide section here. So we're going to have to tweak the design slightly to make take into account that this is an even distribution of blocks, whereas that was this is the odd, this is the even distribution of blocks. But I think the way I want to do it is I'm going to leave that wall in, and we're going to open up these 2 tunnels, wrap them around the side, and then have the main tunnel go out from that little room that we'll construct where you can access through these 2 walls, and it'll go all the way across. And I think it's better if I just show you via the map what it's going to look like. So like you can see right here very faintly, kind of next to this temporary bridge I have in over top, that's where our tunnel is that we just constructed with the tower. The new tunnel is going to go out from, I think it's roughly like here-ish, this little section here, and go all the way out to hit in between right where those 2, I guess, points are on the land. It's going to come out just before that, and so that's actually a really good location to put it, because obviously it's kind of right where this bay area opens out into this larger ocean, and so that's a good place to put it. And so I'm doing my best to make it kind of as circular as possible, so as similarly distanced as possible, so that way it looks like a neat circle once we're finished putting in all the tunnels and the towers and the bridges and stuff I want to do. So let's just go ahead, I guess, and get started on that. And we're going to go into a time lapse because time lapses are fun, and I can do a lot of work in just a short amount of time, relatively, in comparison to having to edit literal hours of footage of me just building. So let's just jump right into that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the tunnel complete. I am very, very pleased with how this turned out. It took a little bit of tweaking to get it just right, but I enjoyed it a lot, though it took a lot longer than I was hoping it would, just to do this tunnel, because I had to stop a couple times to go collect some more cobbled deep slate so I can make more deep slate bricks, but also having to work around the water issue took up a bunch of time. So this is all I was able to accomplish today, but I'm very proud of it. I love how it looks on the inside, on the outside. Will be, hopefully, my goal is to add some, I think it's sea lanterns on the outside to give it some lighting, so that way, you know, if you're out in the water you can see the tunnel a little bit better. With it being so deep and at night when it's dark especially, it's kind of hard to see, but I think that would be really, really cool. And so honestly, like, there's not really much else for me to do this episode, so I think I'm just gonna go ahead and sign off here, but stay tuned for next episode because we're going to be doing something a little bit different, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.
When you feel it's hopeless, when you